Hello, everyone. My name is Kathryn Kuntz. I'm the Richardson-Sloane Special Collections Center Supervisor. Today, I'm going to be sharing a presentation for SCIGS. So that's the Scott County, Iowa Genealogical Society. We typically hold this in person at the library. They're monthly meetings. But annually, we do a special presentation of what's new in special collections for this group. So I'm going to be doing that today. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Welcome, everyone. It's a beautiful fall day, so I'm looking forward to sharing this content with you, and then grab a cup of tea or coffee or whatever your beverage of choice and learn about what's new in special collections. So, again, this is a presentation on what's new in special collections, 2020, a year in review. Even though for part of this year we were closed as a library, we have opened back up. There's some new things that have been made in place of our regular visits and things like that, but I'll share those with you today. And if you have questions, there's going to be a page where you can find out information on how to contact us. So as I was mentioning earlier, there have been some changes in special collections. When you come down, you'll be greeted instead by a staff member from upstairs, and they'll go over some of our new guidelines. And then we have this lovely poster that the outreach department did for us. So it's just kind of going over stuff that people already know about, but some new things. So that's a nice little infographic for us there. Just kind of going over, we're asking that no one brings down food or drink, to please wash their hands before using materials, and refrain from using hand sanitizer before using the materials, because those might cause some damage to the materials long lasting. Please use pencils. Social distancing is expected. Masks are requested. And then, as always, leave the shelving to us. And then a newer thing, so before COVID hit, we weren't by appointments, but now we are. And so we'll go over those changes in the next slide. So if you want to visit special collections, we really would love you to, but there's just a few different things to consider before coming down. So special collections, access to it is only by appointment. And those appointments are limited to 1 hour, and they can be made in advance. So you can call or email us and set up a time, or you can also do a walk-in basis. So walk-in is a little bit more chancy, but certainly come in and we'll try and accommodate as best as we can. And then also appointments are only for the following services. So genealogical or family history research, and then local history research. So that means that even if you do want to access our online databases for genealogy and local history, you can still do that with us. It's just no routine study sessions or computer access. So it has to be specifically concerning materials that live in our collection. And we can help you with getting access to that. And if you're a first-time visitor, you are more than welcome to come down. We can give you a brief tour and give you more access that way, and teach you about the materials that we have in our collection, how you can access them from home to prepare for your visit. But for our longtime visitors, or our visitors who haven't visited us in a little bit, in over 6 months or 7 months, we can certainly guide you through those and help you feel comfortable using our materials and things like that. So another thing that we did to prepare for reopening in August, because we were closed March through August. So when we open back up, we try to think of ways to encourage social distancing, make people feel comfortable in our space. And one way we did that is to put new signage out in our location. So the one photo with our microfilm readers, we have our machines numbered. So we only take 2 appointments at a time. So within an hour, there's only 2 people down here. So we have them numbered, so 1 or 2. And then if you are assigned a microfilm reader, or the number 1, you'll use microfilms labeled as such, tables, and then computers numbered number 1. And same with number 2. So you'll use those spaces, so that's just to decrease sharing of materials, sharing of spaces. And then that way we can, if we only have one person come down, then we know that they've only used those specific areas, so we can clean those as well. In the center, we have an example of our number 2 research table, and you can see on the table there is little baskets for our pencils. Normally those didn't have any labels on them, but one says clean and one says used. So after you use the pencil, you can just toss them into the used metal container. And then we also have a picture of our city directories. And then so some of our other materials like the city directories and our Scott County materials, sometimes those are frequently used by people. So it's just, we can't always quarantine them right after, but they don't get used very frequently we use them by staff, but just so that if someone is working with another patron down here and you guys are both looking at city directories, there might be some sharing of materials. So if you guys have any questions about that, please let us know, and we'd be happy to answer those concerns. So then we are going on to our space in a little bit different detail. So we have our current exhibit. So we normally have 3 cases where we put materials to display what we have in our collection, as well as highlight relevant topics in the community, in the nation. And so we thought it would be a fun idea to highlight elections in Iowa. So these materials come from our collection, but also some from our government documents. So we are a federal depository library. So we have materials that are produced and created by the federal government. So the 2 photos in the main case are from our GovDocs collection. And then there's a map of depicting how the Republican and the Democratic parties have changed. And that goes up until 2008. So that's another fun way to kind of see how our country has changed and the different politics of it. So come down when you have scheduled your appointment and feel free to look at this exhibit. So another thing is our services. So those haven't really changed. We are still here for you to ask questions. And so please feel free to do that. We have our website with a whole bunch of different information. And then that's just like a little picture of our request form. So when you call us or email us, that's what we fill out and help you get your research information. Then, so I'm just going to go over our services. They have not changed. So we have reference services. So we do make copies of records for patrons and users. We do in-depth research services. So contact us if you're interested in those. We do make reproductions for people. So we do image, textual materials, and audio-visual materials if they have not already been digitized. And then we do also offer programming and instruction. So we have offered genealogy classes and events. So we have, this year we did jump into genealogy. Unfortunately, one of our biggest events we have not been able to do is our genealogy night. So that's one thing that we didn't get to do. And then we have lecture series from local authors, historians. We also get ones from out of the state, from a little bit farther afield. We have author talks. We teach on paleography, book arts, and we also do programming and instruction with our local universities like Scott Community College, sometimes St. Ambrose, and then also the Davenport schools for National History Day. Then, so I wanted to highlight some resources that you guys can get from home. I'll move my face out of the way. So Ancestry at Home is available until the end of the year, so December 31st. And this is just on a trial or a period by period basis. So if Ancestry decides to extend this, as they certainly might, we can also, that might also be an option for the beginning of next year, depending on how everything goes. So you can access Ancestry from home. It's really amazing. I'm going to actually share a new share, and we can see this. Where? Show all windows. Oh, you don't want that. Advanced. Okay. I know I brought it up. Oh, silly thing. Well, let me just try and click on this then and see what it does. It should take us to the website of the video. So if you guys are having issues, you won't be able to click on this, but I'll put the link into the post for this presentation. So this is going to maybe take a little bit. So this is, I don't know if you guys can see this. No, stop share. Okay, I'm going to share a different screen. Okay. There we go. So we have this wonderful video, and it talks about, or it just shows you the basics of clicking and getting access to Ancestry from home. So there was a video that was posted earlier in July. So you can access that from home pretty easily with the Davenport Public Library card. If you are not a Davenport library card holder, check with your local library. So Scott County, Bettendorf, they should both have access to Ancestry Library Edition from home. So just check with them and see if you can get access. So I'm going to stop this share and then go back to my presentation. I think it hopped out of where I was. Let's just go back. Oh, there. Resume. Okay, perfect. So if you have any questions about that, just let us know. We also have special collections at home. So as always, we have these resources available. If you are interested, we have the Upper Mississippi Valley Digital Image Archive. That is a wealth of image and text digitization from our collection and then collections from across the Quad City area. So we have materials from the Musser Public Library, from Buffalo, from Augustana, from the Putnam. So there's multitudes of information there. So if you get bored, that's a good place to start browsing and seeing what our community has to hold in their collections. We also have our primary selections from Special Collections blog. We continue to do a weekly posting on there, so stay tuned for those. And also through that site, you can also sign up for our e-newsletter. So if you are wanting to find out information about our goings on, new collections, highlighted featured collections, things that new programs, things like that, you can sign up for that. And right now it's more seasonal. Hopefully next year we'll get back to our bi-monthly posting. But as always, check those things out. Tons of fun stuff on there. We also have other resources for you. So something that goes along with our blog, there is a spot where we have listed our forms that we've created. So we have materials resource list that you can, if you're visiting Special Collections by appointment, you can go through that list and be more systematic in your research. We also have family group sheets and then 5 generational charts that you can download and start filling out when you're using Ancestry at home. Then we also have our list of online resources. So some of them you can only use at the library, or there are some that you can access from home. So those should stay that near there. You can kind of ignore the Ancestry library for right now. Until the end of the year, you can access that from home. So let us know if you have any questions about accessing those, if you need help, what they are. We'd be more than happy to talk over that with you. So just hopping into something else is our, I'll talk a little bit about our programs that we did this year. So even though we were closed for a part of the year, that does not mean that we were not doing anything. So we were still offering research assistance as well as programming, but only in a virtual setting. So as of to date, we have offered approximately 30 programs. We kicked it off this year with Jump Into Genealogy. A couple of the SCIGS members and one of our board members helped to teach this. They actually spearheaded this great idea. Mike and Ann Thomas, give them a big thank you for this. Hopefully it turned out very well and we had a big response to it. So hopefully we'll get to do that sometime in the future when we're able to do in-person programming again. We also did a winter book arts, in your own words. So winter book arts is a book art creating things that are related to the book and the book structure. And so then we get a little bit of history about what that is, and then examples from our collection sometimes, and then you also get to create that item. And then in your own words is our oral history project. We started that last fall, and then it really got going this spring. We talked about the Mississippi Valley Fair, the flood of 2019, and then also caucuses. So we got a lot of great interviews with the Mississippi Valley Fair, and then a couple on the caucuses. But we're still doing that just piecemeal. So if you know of anyone or if you'd like to share your story yourself, please contact me about that. Then we did a new thing at the start of March. It's called QC Life in the New Normal. It was a writing project and contest for the first couple months of its life. So we encouraged people to write about their daily lives in multiple different formats. So essay, diary entry, um, poem, short fiction, anything like that. So we got a really great response for our first round. So we had 27 submissions, and then we decided to do a phase 2, which we got a little bit less, but still great responses. And so people who won those rounds, they got gift cards to local businesses like the Crafted QC and then also the Book Rack. So that was really great. But instead of having it be a contest, we started the QC Life and the New Normal Writing Project back up in September, where we're just seeking people's writing and photographs of their life during this period. So if you would like to share that, we would be very, very excited to have you do that. And then we also had the QC History Hop. We visited the Beiderbecke Museum over in the basement of the Redstone building where the RME is, and that was really fun. And then we had a couple more planned for this fall, but we had to cancel them. So some other ones that we did, we had Kevin Wood, Abraham Lincoln impersonator come digitally, virtually to talk about Lincoln as the lawyer. So he talked about his time as a lawyer in Illinois, and then he also talked a little bit about how he defended the railroad company in the case against with Effie Afton, the steamboat. And then we did a couple, us as library staff members, we went out into the community virtually and in person at the beginning of the year. So we talked about Helen Van Dale, the Queen of Rock Island's underworld, at the Hauberg Civic Center. So that was, in February that we did that. And then we also went over to Augustana, the Swenson Center, and talked about the history of the book. And then we did a virtual program for the German American Heritage Center on early midwifery in Scott County. So those were a couple different things that we did this last year. And so a little bit more in-depth information about QC Life and the New Normal. So please consider submitting writing pieces, documents, photographs about life in the Quad Cities during this new time period where we're expected to socially distance, wear masks, things like that, not be as socially active as we once were, and how that's affecting you. We also are collecting individual or group reflections about how life has changed. So if you are a family unit, you can do it together. And if you want to submit those things via Google, there's the link right there. You can also email me, or if you just want to do it a little bit more snail mail, you can mail your submission to us and then just at that address. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. It's a really great program. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Then we have a local ghost program coming up at the end of October, October 22nd, Thursday at 6 p.m. So registration is required. I believe it's going to be a Zoom event or a GoToMeeting event. Please check the LibCal, our library calendar of events, for more details. But Miss Amy Driscoll is going to be doing that talk, so it'll be fun. And then another thing that we do annually that we got to do, it is in its own nature a virtual event. So it's #ColorOurCollections. This year we did steamboats, and so from the Mayflower to Lock and Dam 13. So we did pictures of the Mayflower, because it's Mayflower 300, I believe, the 300th anniversary of the Mayflower. And then we wanted to just highlight our waterways in this area as well. So it's a fun collection that's also on our blog. You can download that if you like coloring. So we have this lovely little sea creature that you can color. Then, so just another big thing that we still are doing, we are accepting donations. We would love to talk to you about if you have materials that you'd like to donate to us. We're happy to help. We've had over 25 donations so far in 2020. We've had them from local organizations and groups, materials on what they do, what their meetings are, things like that. We got them from local businesses. We got them about local families. So, and then also just some random pieces of ephemera and like yearbooks and things like that. But if you're curious on if your collection of materials fits our needs, please contact us and we can certainly talk to you about that. And we'd be happy to help you figure out if our institution is the right one or if you need to donate it someplace else. So a little bit about Special Collections donation process. So this is just a little life cycle chart. So first we talk about the initial intake and donor negotiations. So that's kind of like what you want to talk about when you're interested in donating materials to a particular institution. So how are they going to care for them? Things like that. What are their expectations? Like what types of materials do they take into their collection? And then what do you want to happen with your collection? So that's all a conversation that we can have at that time. And then after the collection is accepted into the collection and you agree to donate it, we go on to process and describe the collection. So rehousing them physically, if they have an order that you put them in, so like say if you have family history documents, like letters and photographs and things like that, and you've already organized those, we will maintain that, but we might have to rebox them or refolder them into archivally safe materials. Then at that time, we'll also describe them with any information that you've given us or can be found on the materials themselves. So we'll make a finding aid for those, and then so that's that process. And then after that's done, it is able to be accessed and researched by users of the library. So that's something that we will do for each collection. So if you have any questions about that, I'm happy to help answer those questions as well. Then we have some really exciting news. So this summer we were awarded the Historical Resources Development Program grant for digitizing media in the Bix Beiderbecke Museum and World Cultures Collection. So we got that grant through the Friends of the Davenport Public Library. We applied as them, and the grant is for $14,847. It will help support the actual digitization and transfer of this media onto into digital formats that we can access. And then it will also help treat and make the film last a lot longer as well. And so this grant is from the State Historical Society of Iowa with support from the HRDP, which is the Historical Resource Development Program, and then REAP, which I'm blanking on their what their acronym means. But we are very, very grateful to the state of Iowa for selecting us. And this collection will be, we're very excited to access this collection after it gets digitized, because we were unable to beforehand, because they were on reel-to-reels, LPs, and things like that. So we didn't have the the tools to access those. And so here are some photos of the collection. So this is, we've reboxed the materials and put them into our lower level collection space. So you can see those boxed right here. We also have pictures from us getting them ready to send off to the digitizer. So we have them on carts, we have them, these are some messy reels that have been all tangled up, and then a little record player. So we have some great stuff. And so this is just a little credits for the PowerPoint slides. And then thank you so much for listening and learning about our what's new in special collections. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us by our website. There is my contact information as well as the departments. So my email is kkuntz@davenportlibrary.com. And that's my phone number. And then if you want to contact the department for a research request, you can contact us at specialcollections@davenportlibrary.com. And then be sure to follow us on social media. So we have our blog, which you can get access to our e-newsletter, as well as our Facebook if you just search at Davenport Library SC, you should be able to access our Facebook. And then Instagram is at Davenport Special Collections. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you have any questions or want an appointment with Special Collections, please contact us. We look very forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you. Bye.